The sun shone bright in The Hague on the 28th of August 2013. That day, it was precisely 100 years ago that the Peace Palace had opened its doors to organizations devoted to peace and justice. To report about this official commemoration, the international press showed up. Since its inauguration, the Peace Palace has become a worldwide icon of peace and justice. It is the principal seat of international law in our world today. In 2013, however, guests arrive in cars instead of carriages. For the official opening ceremony, many highly positioned guests were invited. Among them, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands.
Today, The Hague is known as the legal capital of the world, an epicenter of international justice and accountability. Here in The Hague, you help sustain and expand the rule of law. You bring the rule of law to life. When I think of peace today, my thoughts turn to the countries, and especially I think about Syria. The Syrian people deserve solutions, not silence. Our common humanity demands that all do their utmost to end this tragedy now. Here in the Peace Palace, let us say, give peace a chance. Give diplomacy a chance. Stop fighting and start talking.
For many years now, The Hague, with the Peace Palace at its center, is tuned towards a world without war. Mayor Jozias van Aartsen is well aware that this is still a vision rather than everyday reality.
L'histoire, ça ne répète pas, mais objecterez-vous. The history will not repeat itself. You will counter. The challenges we face today are more complex than ever. And it is for this reason that the City of The Hague commissioned the Hague Institute for Global Justice, presided over by Dr. Williams, to consider the key elements of initiatives that have supported conflict-affected countries to bring about sustainable peace, to help them on that path. A team of researchers examined 3 prominent cases: Afghanistan, Libya, and Iraq. The result of these analytical studies is the Hague approach, which the Hague Institute has encapsulated in 6 principles for achieving sustainable peace in post-conflict situations. And I sincerely hope that the international institutes here in the city of The Hague, and maybe a little bit the Hague approach, will further our common goal to create lasting peace. And I will give you, Majesty, and you, Mr. Secretary General, a copy of this project.
After the official ceremony, an informal ambience in the peaceful garden gave journalists an opportunity to interview speakers and guests.
Well, my grandmother lived in The Hague, in Scheveningen. So when we took her home, we always passed here the Peace Palace, and my mother told us about the building, and she had been a guide in the Peace Palace when she was a school child. So, yeah, I've grown up with the Peace Palace.
I'm so proud that we are standing here in front of this beautiful building, the Peace Palace, which is more than bricks, which is more than a collection of beautiful books within the library. It's also a symbol of international peace, of stability, and the fact that the Netherlands has always been active in this field.
100 years of Peace Palace means 100 years of progress on international law. It was quite important what the Secretary General during his speech this morning said about Syria and the importance of the Charter of the United Nations, and this is one of the most important institutions of the United Nations in the world, in the city of The Hague.
what goes on inside here that is important, the institutions that it houses that is important. And I think that today presents us with an opportunity to assess how well those institutions are working and how that we can improve them.
I mentioned in my blog that this celebration is not mean that we deny the current injustice situation all over the world, but this is to honor the long process of those who struggle and sacrifice themselves to uphold peace and justice. So it's like give us the new spirit to move forward.
During the festive lunch, a sculpture of Bertha von Suttner was unveiled. She was a convinced pacifist who stood at the cradle of the undertaking of the Peace Palace.
A woman who looked ahead of her time into our time and condemned the entire process of militarism and tried to put forth some solutions for peace. Dr. King, ironically, today is the 50th anniversary of his great I Have a Dream speech, said once, and I'm paraphrasing, that violence can never bring peace. It only helps to bring more violence. So going back to Bertha von Suttner, who opposed militarism, we should at this time start thinking non-violent options to peace.
That is why earlier today, right here in Peace Palace, I said, give peace a chance. Give diplomacy a chance. Stop fighting and start talking.
What I will remember is that even though if you read the newspaper this morning and you go to a celebration like this, sometimes you tend to feel a bit pessimistic. Why is it there? But if you listen to the speeches and you speak to the people that were here, that they're all involved in peacekeeping in the world in some way or in international justice, that was very hopeful.